Mic'd up.
Yo ho, welcome to Yankees Coast to Coast. My name is Adam Schneider. We got Mike Miller here.
Hi, Mom.
My significantly less intelligent and uglier co-partner. And but we are here.
Hey, I cannot be significantly less intelligent.
Oh well.
You'd be less intelligent, but not significantly.
A matter of opinion, my friend. I'm just checking my earbuds, so be nice with me for a second.
That's okay, because you're frozen stiff. So
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to get on here. Why am I not hearing myself?
I can hear you.
I know, but I can't hear. So it says I'm at 100% power too. That is very odd. Anywho, gonna
All
try
right.
another way.
So it's been a couple of weeks because the Yankees were doing nothing. So we, unlike everybody else and their mother, didn't do anything either. We figured if it's good enough for Brian Cashman, it's good enough for us.
Yeah, exactly.
But today we're going to come back.
We are alive and well, back, and I can hear.
Yeah, but you're still not moving. No, there you go.
I'm back.
Moved.
Okay.
So we got a couple of questions we want to go through today and see if we got some answers, and then we'll see where the world takes us from there. Because God forbid we have a plan, but that's what it is. The first big question is: did the Yankees make a good deal with regard to Bellinger? What do you think?
Well, 32-5.
The bonus. I think the numbers are fine. I don't have a problem with it, given what other guys are making. They're not going to have to pay him next year, so that'll just push him off. I don't mind the opt-outs. I would have rather. I like when they have a. The Yankees seem to be the only team that does this waiving of the no trade thing, or creating the no trade clause. I don't know why they do that. They seem to cut their nose off on this, and then they're stuck with these guys forever. Luckily, it's not that long. I mean, if it's another 10-year contract, I hate those. But for 5, I'll accept it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think there's a couple of interesting things there. Is obviously the $20 million up front, which the Yankees do.
That's new.
That's and zero. New. Well, that's not as new. They offered Soto a lot of money up front too.
Yeah, but Soto was that.
But he didn't take it because they offered him more money up front for the Mets. But the big thing with Bellinger is, they're laying out 52.5 for him this year and 32.5 for him in year 2. And then he's got an opt-out. And really the contract is set up for him to opt out. Because if he doesn't opt out, cash to Bellinger for the last 3 years is only 25.8, 25.8, 25.9.
Yeah.
So at that point, he's going to opt out if he's performing. And the Yankees will have gotten a performing player. As far as everything else, the other interesting thing on this is that if there is a work stoppage of any length, even if it's just for a week, the way it's set up is Bellinger's opt-outs move with it, which I don't exactly understand because it's a 5-year deal. And if his opt-outs are after year 2 and after year 3, they become after year 3 and after year 4. Okay, that's fine. So, it is what it is. But, they still get him on the cheap for that 3rd year because he's stuck with the Yankees for that 3rd year because he can't opt out. So the Yankees get the benefit if there is a lockout or a strike. They get the benefit of keeping Bellinger at a lower cost for that 3rd year. So
but he's going to be a year older, and I don't know if that's great.
Right.
I mean, this is,
And getting to your point about where he sits in the salary structure of Major League Baseball, he's the 5th highest paid outfielder behind Tucker, Soto, Judge, and Trout. By the way, Grisham is 10th, just so you know. I know you wanted to know that. So the Yankees have 3 of the top 10 paid outfielders in all of baseball. In all of baseball, when you go to all players, Belly is 16th. And of the players that signed this year, other than Ramirez's wackadoodle deal with Cleveland to stay there for an AAV of 25, which is only 22.3 for tax purposes, he's the least expensive of the big ticket items. I guess Schwarber is also a big ticket item, but it's very short term. Cease got $30 million, and he's not deserving of that. And Devers' contract was signed during the 25 season. He gets 31.35. It's less than Belly, but Bregman at 35 is I'd rather have Bellinger, quite frankly. Bichette at 42, and of course Tucker at 60.
That the Bichette thing is just so classic Mets.
Yeah.
So
I think it works. I think the numbers work. By the way, the guy that's right even with him for cash value for 2000 or AAV for 2026, Nolan Arenado is at 32.5, as is Corey Seager, by the way.
So it's nice to know there were some overpays going back a few years. So it's like, some of these, this is not the only era where you have overpays. There was definitely a weird period about 5 years ago when all these guys just signed explosively large contracts. But, listen, I like I like Bellinger. I really felt they had to. I would have rather, I talked about this before. I like Tucker more. But at the price that was crazy. I would have liked the Yankees to get him on a short-term deal versus a relatively controlled deal on Bellinger. I would have liked that, but Yankees don't operate that way. They don't think in terms of paying high AAV and a couple of year deals. They think in terms of overpaying when the guy's 40. They want to be paying these guys when they're 46. And they're about to go to Yankee fantasy camp, and they love that. I don't get it. I don't know why it hurts them as an organization, but that's who they are.
Hey, we do have a caller. Let's see what Mr. Joe Osti has to say. I believe it is about our friend Bellinger. So let's see what Joe Osti has to say.
Welcome back, guys. It's been a long off season. Yes, they finally followed up in signing Bellinger to actually an outrageous contract when you think about 42 and a half for
52.
each year, and then he's going to opt out after the second year. But I'm just hoping Caballero has a great 2 months, and we don't have to see Volpe.
So let's
that was a big jump. I love Joe.
I think that leads really well into our next question, which is, where are the Yankees right now? Are they better or are they worse? Why? Why not? What do you think, Mr.
Well, you answer the question first, and I'll answer mine.
All right. Well, in my humble opinion, which is, you take humble however it is, you have to build a team. It takes different parts, players with complementary and diverse talents and skills. You can't just build a roster built on accumulated stats, especially in just limited areas. You need players and pitchers who are hard to play against every inning of every game. And I think that's the type of team that'll win during the regular season when analytics rules the day, but also the type of team that will win in the playoffs. And I don't think the Yankees did that. I think offensively, they are a mess still. In 2025, they averaged 5.19 yards, 5.19 runs per game. Surprisingly, only 4.99 at home and 5.4 on the road. They averaged more on the road than they did at home. They had 38 games where they scored 2 runs or less, and they got shut out 10 times, including 3 in a row from June 15th to June 17th. In that same window, June 12th to June 18th, they had 8 runs, 3 shutouts against them. And they had 6 losses during that time, and their only win was a 1-0 win in the period from June 30th to September 5th. They're terrible. They had 34 runs. That inconsistency comes down to the fact that the Yankees strike out too much.
Yeah.
They had 1,463 strikeouts in 6,235 plate appearances and 5,471 at bats, which is 27% of their at bats they strike out as a team. That's just too much. And that number's only going to go up. You're going to get a full year of our friend McMahon at third base. He struck out 180 times last year. 180. Now, granted, Volpe being out, as Joe pointed out, and his 150 strikeouts, Caballero strikes out less. He only struck out 18 times in 95 plate appearances, which comes out to be about 100, 110 times in the season. So that's better than Volpe's 150.
That was
But
also early when he first started with them. He did get off to a bad start with them,
yep,
and so I thought he definitely evened out more. I think we'll see more of the slap hitter that they want, unless they do what they do to everybody, which is turn every guy, whether he's 5'2" or 7'2", into a 50 home run a year guy. That's all they care about. So as long as they have that mindset, guys like Caballero don't survive the transition.
nope.
So hopefully he'll be better than.
So offensively, I still don't think that they're a good team.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with what Joe said. I think, Volpe at shortstop doesn't do them any good. McMahon at third base, I think, is going to be an interesting. How long will it take for the fans to boo him?
Mm.
Might take It might just be in spring training, and then I don't see Rice. I mean, the Yankees' track record with second year and third year players, offensively at least, is not good.
Yeah.
And Rice, as much as everybody says, and I know you have a hard hit rate love of Rice, he hits the ball in the same place every time.
Mm.
And even without the shift, because he hits the ball in the air so often, they're going to run the ball down. And I don't necessarily think that his hard hit rate, if it stays the same, which is hard to do because it was so high, I don't think his hard hit rate is going to be one that's going to improve his batting average and things like that. And he had 100 strikeouts last year, and he sat a lot against left-handed pitching. And if he plays every day this year, that strikeout rate's going to go up. And I like Rice as a player. I don't like him as an everyday first baseman for the Yankees. I think he is the left-handed half of a platoon, and against pus-throwing lefties who don't throw hard, I think he'd be good. So that's that. Offensively, they're not as good. Starting pitching wise, the injuries are what's going to kill them. I don't mind Weathers coming in. Would I have liked to see them pick up a Peralta or even a Gore or an Alcantara at some point? Yeah, I would like to see them improve it. But, they keep saying, oh, May for Rodon and June or July for Cole. Rodon is the type of guy that doesn't come back quick in his entire career. He's had series of injuries where he's, really stunk after his injuries and had trouble coming back. And this is Cole's first injury, so you don't really know what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
And then in the bullpen, you know what? The bullpen is the bullpen. They have ways of figuring it out. They have a lot of young, hard-throwing guys they could throw out there, and hopefully it works out. So the bullpen is probably a wash, especially since Williams and Weaver were not good last year. So I think they could be replaced. But there's a lot riding on Cruz coming back and being good, and Duvall figuring it out.
Mm.
So we'll see. But the offense is not better, and I think we're looking at a team that's going to lead the league in runs scored and lead the league in the number of times that they're shut out or score less than 2 runs. 2 runs or less, 37 times, and a team that led the league in scoring, which goes to show you can't do it. And by the way, right after those 2 streaks where they didn't score runs and they got shut out, the pitching fell apart because the pitching was so stressed out that they couldn't allow any runs in order for them to have a chance to win. The pitching went into a slump, and that's the other half of this lineup problem is it impacts the whole team.
It's a real problem. They've lost. I said it earlier in our text. I don't like that they lost a contact first, if not spectacular, certainly a functional and helpful Goldie at first. That even if he's not a middle order bat, having him around Judge was helpful. Don't like the fact that they've given up that for a full-time Rice at first, but I get why they're doing that. But as far as the offense is concerned, I do have a lot of concerns about their left-handedness. They are considered the most left-handed team in baseball, and they also the team with the highest strikeout rate amongst left-handers, 27 to 33%. So they give up a lot. They're also very pull-heavy. So they don't have. They're very very vulnerable to certain types of pitching from the left-handed side. So I just think
especially the hard throwers.
yeah, I think everybody's going to throw their lefties at them, and they really are going to hurt this year in this regard. And God forbid Stanton gets hurt and does his usual 60 missed games a year, we know that's happening. If he misses 60 games, they won't really have an answer. They don't have somebody,
Their answer is Dominguez is their answer.
and that means, maybe, and that's one of our later questions here about their about whether they should trade him or both. That is a big concern. So I have major problems. I think this team is going to strike out unbelievably. I'd say we're going to see 1,500 strikeouts from this
Oh,
team.
I was going to say 1,600
They
strikeouts.
could, because last year they were in the 1,450 range, and this year, and that was the most in the league. They were the highest in the league last year.
No, they weren't. They didn't have the highest strikeout rate in the league.
Who was higher?
Well, that's what the whole point is. The guys that were higher were, sorry, I'm screwing around stats. Two teams were worse: the Angels and the Rockies.
All right, that's okay.
There's your answer. I had that one teed up. I knew that was going to come up. It's ridiculous.
And move on to the top guys. I would say any of the winning teams. And what fascinated me when I looked at this number was how little the Blue Jays struck out. They struck out 1,033 last year.
I have 1,099. I'm looking.
Yeah. So to me, that's the number I missed. That's it. 1,099.
The teams that didn't strike out were the Royals, the Blue Jays, the Padres, the Marlins, the Brewers, the Cubs.
Yeah.
And the Astros. The Dodgers were middle of the pack, but the Dodgers had a bad offensive season. The Mets were better than average. But the only playoff team, and the Tigers struck out a lot. Tigers were fifth in baseball. The Mariners were sixth.
I think that this is going to be. They didn't have a full season of McMahon. I think McMahon's going
to. Yankees looking at 1,600 strikeouts.
It's going to be bad. So this is what they really screwed the puppy when they didn't go after. Really should have gone after some Bichette hard, because that would have been a very interesting choice for them. Or now they have to go after Nico Horner. So I think that's something we can discuss, but it's not going to. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. But I also believe that the reason that they are in this predicament as badly as they are is their fiasco, which other teams made the same mistake. The fiasco that is the qualifying offer given to Grisham.
Oh my God, what a horror show! We'll talk about that, but I think that, and then answering just very quickly on the pitching, I'm not as down on their starters.
I'm not down on their starters. I think that the only problem they have is their injuries and the fact that they're counting on Schlittler to be all season long Schlittler, which will be hard to do because that's Cy Young level. They're counting on Heel to not get injured.
Yeah.
They're counting on Warren to still give them 33 starts. They're counting on Fried to give them that many. I'm glad Fried on his own decided not to play in the baseball classic because his
and what's that going to mean this year? Like what happens when Judge lands on home plate after the game-winning home run and breaks his foot?
Well, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing. I don't actually mind the position players.
I hate it.
The position players, I don't like it being at this point, but even if they put it in the middle of the season, but the position players getting at bats like they're going to get is better than spring training at bats. The pitchers that go to the World Baseball Classic, I think, get hurt more than that.
And the reason they can't do this after the World Series is that
it doesn't time well with everybody in the world's baseball schedule.
Well, then change everybody's schedule.
You're not going to do that. I mean, look, you have the Olympics has basketball as a summer Olympic sport. There's no basketball in the United States or in most places in the world in the summer, except for Russia. So, but it is what it is. I just, the pitchers need to be controlled much more so physically than the batters do. I mean, if Judge hurts himself running the bases in the World Baseball Classic, he was going to hurt himself running the bases in spring training.
Oh, well, no, that's not how it works. Because when you're in spring training, these guys are farting around. They're getting 2 at bats a game, maybe 3 towards the end. They're not giving it 100%. When the world's on the line, they're going to put it all out there.
Well, so, I don't mind. It is what it is. It's not as
all right. We'll agree to disagree, or maybe we agree. We're just I worry about it. You don't.
I don't worry about it from a hitter's perspective.
Yeah.
So let's ask you: do you think they're better? or
No,
not?
I don't think they're better. I think that they're rolling out the status quo, which bothers me a lot. Shows a lot about their mindset. I think they made mistakes by not going after some of these young pitchers. I actually like the Weathers move,
I do too.
but I think that it's just another one of these things that they always do. Take a flyer on these guys on the hope that they can catch lightning in a bottle, and hopefully, and they rely on the Matt Flake factor. So a good thing. Is it a great thing? No, because they could have done better. But I'm more upset about the big thing that really killed this offseason was the Grisham move.
It killed
Bringing
everything.
Gus Grissom back, after
He always
after the
opens the
fire in
pod. He always
Impala
opens
one.
the pod too early when it splashes down.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he screwed the pooch, they said, and then he died in the, it's a very upsetting thing. I just don't. I don't get that move. I still don't, and it annoys me to this day. I will say to you, the Yankees did not see it happening. They didn't
I
expect
know.
it,
I don't think.
and
I think that they
and
didn't.
they're lying.
I don't think they saw it happening, and I think that they were stupid for not seeing it happening because everybody else did, except for the Tigers. The Reds didn't see it last year, and the Brewers didn't see it this year with Woodruff. So I mean, there's teams that get caught in this. But the silly thing is the Yankees got caught in this at a time when they knew they were going to go run out and try and get Bellinger, and they knew it was going to cost them more than whatever it cost them last year. And they needed flexibility on their roster, and they stuck themselves with the panic trade for McMahon, who at this point last year, when we had our show, we both said no to McMahon on the Yankees. And the Yankees panicked at the trade deadline and picked him up. I think McMahon's going to be painful. Grisham, listen, the best thing that could happen for the Yankees this year and where they'll be better is if Jazz is in a contract year and he goes berserk, and Grisham's in a contract year and he goes berserk. Those are the two things that the Yanks have working in their favor offensively.
Yeah. All right. What's the next question?
The next question really is our friend Dominguez.
Okay. All right. So I'll touch on this one. I have concerns about the Yankees' athleticism. And their outfield is particularly beaten or on the older side. I think Judge, as great as he is due for a decline physically and speed, and it's going to happen. So we want to begin to think of Judge as a commodity that we need to protect, and so I worry when they start having outfielders that might get hurt and people who can't step in because it will put more pressure on Judge. They've got a center fielder who I think is in decline and looked slow last year, and they keep talking about an injury. But if he was really hurt, they would have taken him out. But so they were worried. But now they're saying he was injured all season, and that was the reason why he was slow in center field. I haven't liked his play in center field since the day I saw him
I
in
agree.
spring training 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, and he's not. I think that there's an aura around his defensive game that doesn't match the eye test. We talked about that before. I'm worried that if they move Dominguez, and Jones to some extent, it's really a question of which one they move. They're going to give up they're going to give up that young athletic option that's out there. A guy who's fast, who probably still can get better if they would just give him an opportunity, and and a guy who's a dynamic player. Because what's going to happen when Stanton gets hurt? Somebody's going to have to step in. If Dominguez is gone, who's it going to be?
See, I'm of the belief, and we saw in the text string earlier today, clearly Joe Ostie is not. I'm of the belief that the Yankees, and the Peralta trade shows me evidence of that. The Yankees need to get rid of their top prospects on the offensive side because they never develop into anything. But the Mets being able to get not just Peralta, but also Myers for their number 2 and number 5 prospects goes to show you that there's not a high level of opinion on the Yankee prospects. Now, granted, the pitcher they got from the Mets is going to be ready for 2025. 2026. He pitched in 2025 for the Mets. And Jet Williams has never done anything. He's the typical Brewers little fast guy type, Durbin type that you like. as well, and he's a high contact guy. So they gave the Brewers a lot there, but the Yankees don't have, and they got Myers.
Well,
Myers is a good pitcher, and he's controllable for 2 more years. And Peralta is going to sign with the Mets because the Mets will make him a ridiculous offer, and he's not represented by Boris.
yeah. So
But it
that's
shows you the
good.
Yankees. I would have gone all out, and I've said this from the beginning. I would have offered Jones and Lombard and whatever one or two of the pitching prospects and/or Heel all around the town to try and get guys. If it was a Nico Horner, or if it was, I wanted Tatis, which I knew was a pipe dream. But any of these guys that are out there that they could have offered their prospects for, I would have done it, because the Yankees non-pitching prospects, except for the catchers, all go backwards the higher you get in the Yankee system, and even more backwards when they get to the major league level.
Because
So
I think they changed their approach when they get to the major
I
league.
think you said it earlier. You said that they're a heavy pull left-handed hitting team, and that's the Yankees' way of. That's their one-trick pony. They want guys to hit the ball in the air and pull it.
And
Whether
that's
they're
a
right, and
mistake.
this is true of righties and lefties.
And that's hurt a lot of lefties over the years. That hurt Teixeira. It hurt Giambi. It hurt a lot of the guys who came
It
here.
killed Teixeira and Giambi. It killed them.
These are the things that they've done for years and years to ruin these guys who were high average hitters who lost that somewhere. It's because they started trying to hit 49 home runs a year.
Right. I mean, Giambi was a 300 hitter on the A's,
and with the A's,
hit 240s.
I remember when he was
Teixeira was a
playing with you
280
guys.
hitter who hit the 240s. It's a
I
joke.
remember watching him hit line drives in the gap.
Everywhere.
He was so ridiculously strong to left center field. And he was hitting the wall in left center field during Yankee games, when he played them in New York. And I never saw that. I never saw that. And the same thing with Teixeira. These guys come here and they give it up because that's the goal. And it's been a Cashman organizational from the top mindset that's been killing them in a lot of ways and making great. It's also made some great hitters. People who weren't home run hitters that probably ended up hitting some of the biggest home runs in history, for this team, because they became home run heavy guys. So I mean, I don't think Leyritz ever expected.
They're not a better team. Yeah, but adjusting a guy like Leyritz, who's a 240 hitter, is different than adjusting a guy who's a 280 hitter lifetime and comes to your team and all of a sudden is a 230, 240 hitter. And that's the problem, is they got to leave some guys alone. But getting back to Dominguez, I like Dominguez as a player. I think the biggest mistake they made was moving him off of center field. That totally messed with his head.
And then how often can a guy be told that he can't play the outfield before he finally starts
to believe? But he can play center field. He was fine, if not above average, in center field before he got hurt. And then they went out and got Grisham, and now Grisham, who you and I both agree is not a good fielder, and the analytics are now on our side. It's not just the eye test anymore; it's the analytics are on our side. He's not a good center fielder. He's a negative when it comes to run save, which means he doesn't save any runs. He allows more runs. He was not hurt. I mean, if he was hurt last year, it's a joke that he was hurt last year. They never would have. They would have sat him, just like they sit every guy if they have a nick or a bruise. Why did they sit him? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, because he was having this historic season for himself, and they weren't getting a lot of offense. And they had some areas where they were weak. They weren't getting anything at the top of the batting order. So who was going to be their leadoff hitter? I guess they felt it. I still don't think he's even remotely a good leadoff hitter.
The Yankees' problem is, over the years, they've thought their leadoff hitter was going to be Dominguez. Then they thought it was going to be Volpe. Then they had nobody. There was a time when they thought that a whole bunch of different guys would be potentially their leadoff hitter, and it's never worked with no matter who they choose.
Let me change the question a little bit. Let's assume that the Yankees now are going to have to trade one or the other. Let's just say now they trade. If they have a choice between trading Jones or Dominguez, who do you think is the better choice to trade right now? Or do you want to keep?
If I was the Yankees, I would trade Jones, but I think he's got less value than Dominguez.
Yeah, but I think the problem that I have with keeping Jones is, he just has he has a huge hole in his swing, and I worry about keeping him. I don't know if there's any if there's anything there. I just think Dominguez is still a more dynamic player.
I think Dominguez is I'd rather keep Dominguez as well. I think Jones is the typical Yankee 160, 180, 200 strikeout guy that they're going to
That's
have.
right. It's going to be more of the same.
Now,
They
I
don't
will
know
say
if he's a center fielder or not. They're
Jones
not sure.
is a stud fielder. I mean, he's a stud.
Well, I mean that's yeah. Where's your candle? He's asking me where. Frank wants to know where my Yankee candle is. I'm pulling it up right here. I love Frank.
Just so you know, I was talking. We were out for dinner last night, and we were talking about you at Yankee Fantasy Camp. And when I said that they gave the 110 male fantasy campers, or at least those that are returning campers, a gift, when everybody asked what was it, I said a candle. They all said the same thing. They gave guys candles.
It was the Yankee candle.
Right, I said it's a Yankee candle. That's exactly what I said. And they said they gave guys candles.
I also want to show you something else they gave us. What do you think of this?
It looks like big nothing to me right now. See, it's nice looking, but when you start to tell me how
Here
it is,
it's a hoodie.
Right, it's a nice hoodie,
and it's got short sleeves.
That's the Boonism, but it's
this was a new thing that we got this year, and
I would sooner. I don't know how comfortable it is, but I would sooner wear the hoodie than those little rain pullovers that they gave us year after year that were short sleeves that I wear once in a blue moon.
I have a great one.
I have 3 of them.
All right. So anyway, we're getting close to the end of our. Do we have another question, or is that it?
No, that's it for us for today. We're going to keep it limited. It will be posted on YouTube as usual. Hopefully, we're getting 400 views when we do post the show.
Wow! Hey, we're up there with Taylor Swift. She is. We're really.
Yes, the 1 millionth the number of followers.
But I do want to say that Joe Asti is really one of our all-time favorites. And Frank, thank you so much for sharing your question about the Yankee candle. We appreciate that. And Michael, take care. We will be back in a few days. Maybe there'll be some news this week. Who knows? Maybe the Yankees will do something interesting.
I think the Yankees are looking at signing Kramer.
Hey, and congratulations, since this is our first show, congratulations to our friends, the Cower brothers, Steve and Mark Caro, were inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame.
The long national nightmare.
Well, not with them. It's not with
the long national nightmare. Actually, the long overdue vote for Dan the Man Kramer,
our friend,
to the Hall of Fame. I have mine is too far away to grab.
Dan Kramer is in the Hall of Fame.
And he deserves it.
I have never been happy. We literally screamed in happiness like little girls. We were so excited for him because he does deserve. He really, there it goes again. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm having flashbacks to the episode of The Office where Dwight pulled the mask off of the CPR doll and put it on his face.
That's our moment. But no, he made it. We're so happy. Hall of Fame. He deserved it. This is like 3,000 camps for him. And he's been going since 1949.
1907.
He was a camp with Waite Hoyt and
Joe Asti.
Joe Asti. His first coach was Red Rolfe from the 1923 World Series team, and we're just very happy that he's in. And so anyway. Next year, it's going to be interesting to see. My son actually brought up that he would like to go next year, so I might do a father and son with my son. That would be fun.
I would highly recommend against it.
Against it? Why ruin a good thing?
Listen, I want you talking to my son Max because he'll say the same thing, and that'll be the end of that. And just so you know, I will be going to at least one of the games when they're at Pac Bell ATT SBC Oracle Park.
I'm shocked. I can't believe you actually were going over to that place.
Well, I am going to
the garlic fry.
There's a reason. March 28th is my son, alleged son, just like Max is an alleged son. My alleged son Matthew's birthday is March 28th. That's what he asked for his birthday. He wanted
Very
a Notre
nice.
Dame.
All right. I love it. Are you going to buy the garlic fries? That's what I want to know.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Remember, they're only $37 I hear.
You can't bring any food into that stadium, not even to
Oh,
drink.
well, you know why? Because they want you to buy the good
Right,
stuff.
but even the Yankees let you bring food in.
Yeah, that is true. But they do leave you outside and give you an alimentary canal search on the way in. So you better eat it after you get it. Because anyway, we
Hey,
will talk.
free
We will talk.
colonoscopy with every entrance into the stadium. All
All
right.
right, buddy. Have a good one. Be
Bye-bye.
good. We'll be back.